I 27M ghosted my girlfriend 35F of 2 months. I, 27M, met my most recent girlfriend, 35F, on a dating app a couple of months ago. We got along really well together, and for the most part we were really compatible. We had gotten to the point where I would stay at her place 4 or 5 nights per week, and had developed our own little routine. Last Friday night, we went out to a bar, and she totally flew off the rails. She saw this guy that she had not seen since high school and jumped into his arms, straddled him, and started kissing on him. Quite a few people were looking at me confused, as she was just hanging on me right before that. This was probably the most embarrassed I had ever been in a public setting, and I just did not know what to think about it. She then pulled me aside and apologized for doing that. We went to leave shortly after that, and was hugging on that guy again, and taking selfies. After like the 3rd selfie, I basically had to drag her out of there, as her friend that drove us to the bar was ready to leave, and I didn't care to see her literally throw herself at the guy again. She then starts a fight with me about how embarrassing it was that I pulled her away like that. We get back home and fight for like 10 minutes, and then I just walk out and drive home. I had maybe 3 beers the whole night. I then proceeded to block her on everything, and I did not speak to her for the rest of the weekend, as I knew that anything she would have had to say would have been incredibly mean. It was not the lone act that did it for me. It's that she is an alcoholic, and she is completely embarrassing to be with in public once she has had too many. There were a handful of other incidents, though none quite this bad. She is also drunk when she is at home alone with her daughter, which is completely irresponsible immo. The following Monday, I unblocked her number and texted her that her drinking is a real problem. I am embarrassed to be with her in public when she's drunk, and that we should see other people. She did not take this well. I know that I should have talked to her about this habit before it came to a head and started a fight. Ghosting is not my usual move. How could I have made this less messy? Edit. Her daughter was not usually there at the same time as me, and I had met her maybe 4 or 5 times. Though her wanting me to meet her daughter so soon was a red flag in and of itself. I mean, you could have just been like, we're done. But she sounds nuts, so ghosting wasn't the worst thing. You don't know what ghosting means. It's not really ghosting if you messaged her 2 days later and told her it's over LOL. Proud of you, and please call CPS. Have you even considered calling CPS? Her child is not safe. She made it messy, not you. Also, even being an alcoholic isn't even an excuse to be all over another man right in front of you. I think you did as best as you could towards a person who completely wronged you. You did right and provided an explanation later on. That's all you need to do, is provide a reason for why you are ending the relationship. You are also doing the right thing by getting the fuck out of there. I am losing it with my 44F partner, 48M. My 44F partner, 48M, is making me question my sanity. I add quotations because he's not a partner in any sense of the word. We've been together for 8 years, living together for 6. I've been out of state with family for 2 days. My dad gave me some sentimental ornaments handmade by my late grandmother, who meant the world to me. Last night, I asked him to go snag a Christmas tree so we could decorate with said ornaments when I got home this evening. Partners knew how excited I was about hanging these mementos made by grandmother's hands on our tree. He knows how excited I am about the cozy holiday season too. I look forward to this time all year. He said of course he would go get a tree. I get home today and shocker, no Christmas tree. He's in bed. He's been in bed all day. He was in bed the 2 days before this as well. He's not sick. Partner works for himself. He has worked 3 days out of the past month. Not because he was ill and certainly not because he can afford spending days in bed on his phone rather than working. He's in debt up to his eyeballs. He owes the IRS God knows how much. He took out a loan to pay off high-interest CC bills, and guess what? Not only are the credit cards maxed out again, but he's also in default for the loan he took out to cover the CC bills. He's on an antidepressant, so we haven't had sex since 2020. I was okay with this for a while, but I want nothing more than to be intimate with someone who is my actual partner in love and in life. What am I doing? I'm so scared of leaving for some fucked up reason. We have 2 dogs and they adore both of us. We have a happy home when he's not spending weeks in bed, which happens 2-3 times a year. I am in good shape, have a wonderful job, and look decent for my age, I think. I'm terrified of finding a new place to live with my dogs, uprooting their routine, and basically starting from scratch in my mid-40s. How do I deal with this? He always promises he will get better, acknowledges he's not pulling his weight, etc., but the Christmas tree debacle has broken my soul today. Any advice or suggestions would be so appreciated. Leave. You and the pups will be okay. I promise. Being miserable in a relationship is so emotionally and physically draining. You deal with this by leaving or accepting that this is the very best it will be for the rest of your entire life. Is that what you want for yourself? No. Then the only option is to leave this idiot. So many of us have wasted time with partners who don't make us happy. We end up looking back and being mad at ourselves for wasting so much time on them. We're here for a good time, not a long time, and you clearly don't need him. Pack up and leave. I'm hereby granting you permission to leave. Life is too short, and you can have so much happiness ahead of you. Your dogs will adjust. You will be just fine. Leave. The dogs will be fine. You will be more than fine. You will be great when you no longer have to carry the load for another grown as human. Think of someone you love and care for deeply. If they were in this situation, what would you advise them to do? Now take that advice to heart for yourself. How do I, 29F, explain to my husband, 29M, why I don't initiate physical intimacy? I don't know how to explain it without coming across harsh. We have been on edge recently, and I'm to the point where my entire mood is, I don't care, or do what you want. I am just tired of having to defend myself. I, 29F, and my husband, 29M, have one child together, 22 months. He is overall a great dad. He gets up with our child in the middle of the night, and we share almost equal responsibility. It really does vary week by week, but I feel that I handle the emotional portion of parenting more than he does. He may take her to MDO or pick her up, but I lay out her clothes, get her dressed, pack her bag. He makes her breakfast half the time, but I buy all of the groceries and ensure we have all the essentials. I plan everything. Appointments, outfits, meals, packed bags, etc. He helps carry it out. I don't mind it because after all, I am just as much a parent. I love being a mom. My child has never felt like a burden. We both adore her and pour everything into her. That being said, I am the breadwinner and have a crazy schedule that provides amazing overtime dollar. The past few months, he is physically with our child more. I envy that. I always wanted to be a SOM with a career that I put on pause to raise my children until school age. That isn't an option financially. My husband works a 7-3 desk job, government. So I typically get ready until our daughter gets up. He will change her diaper and get her started eating before heading out the door. He sometimes, if I have a later morning, will take her to MDO on his was out and go into work at 8. I would say this happens 1x per week. I sometimes don't get home until 8 p.m. and dinner hasn't been started, or bedtime routine. I enjoy getting that time with my daughter though, so I don't complain. My husband is a sports fanatic. Always on his phone or a game on TV. We have little one-on-one interaction between our schedules and caring for our child. He blames my schedule. The most attention he gives me is when he wants something sexual. I am tired every day. Any love language is acts of service, he knows this. It feels like a chore and honestly, my emotional needs aren't being met. I have explained to him that physical touch is not my stress relief, like it is his. If I was constantly worried about seeing my child enough, being present when I'm home, catching up on household responsibilities, and making sure we are financially comfortable, then I may have something left to give at the end of the day. I am physically attracted to him. I'll care about my appearance as well. I am always out together, physically fit, etc. For myself and for him. I just want to spend any free time I get each day/night to decompress. I never have my personal phone out during the day. I like to take a bath, watch a show, read my book or scroll through TikTok. Judge me IDCLL. After the baby is down, the house is clean and my work is done. Instead I'm made to feel guilty for not wanting to use that time for physical intimacy. I feel like he does not understand that doesn't rank high for me when I'm in survival mode. How can I explain this to him without sounding terrible? I don't want him to have those needs met elsewhere. I have never questioned this or felt like it is happening. I should also add that this isn't being withheld for months or even weeks. It occurs 1-2x per week, but that doesn't seem to be enough. I'm touched out, overwhelmed, and focused on other things. So like many women, you take care of the mental workload. This is so draining and very frustrating. It seems a lot of things just don't occur to them. Even more frustrating is when they say you could just ask them. Nobody's asking us. Domestic blindness can really drive a wedge in any relationship. If he wants more sex, he needs to take more off your plate, so you have the energy for that to begin with. Make that clear to him. Seeing him pick up some extra slack is also going to be attractive. The first step, I feel, is to approach it openly. Use I feel statements instead of saying you do XYZ, and that makes me feel ZYX, as that will make your partner immediately on the defensive. You should both communicate ways to be better partners to each other, as it seems like you both want something from the other you aren't getting. Having an open and honest dialogue, without being accusatory, is the first and most important step. The workload isn't spread evenly. He needs to take some pressure off of you so that intimacy is a priority. Tell him flat out what you need from him to be able to have more intimacy. Like each day of the week. For example, tell him that he needs to have the kids fed, bathed, and in bed, or whatever, but you get the idea, in the evenings during the weekdays, because he gets home at 3 and has plenty of time to get that stuff done before you get home. Then follow through if he follows through. Otherwise, it's going to just be considered a bullshit excuse to avoid intimacy. It would probably be good for the two of you to also create some intentional time together for date nights/quality time, and get a family member or a babysitter to watch the kids on those nights. At least once a month for now, and see how it goes. I, F29, broke up with my boyfriend, M29, 6 months ago, and he won't move out. We live in a house with 3 of my friends, and he insists I should be the one to move out because I make more money, so he can live with my female friends. He makes less but could comfortably move out at any time, and is primarily not moving because he wants to prove to me I can't kick him out. We've discussed the fact that neither want to leave, so I have planned to just live my life as normally as possible and accept he'll do the same. We agreed we'd give each other heads up if anyone brought someone back, which I've honored. However, now he's super upset I'm dating again and sent a tirade of messages saying I'm selfish and can't believe I'm being so indecent to him. Even if I leave, my friends will be stuck with him and the house will continue to be unpleasant for them, and it would be really hard to find another place to live with close friends, which is why I want to stay. Do I just continue to try to live my life as normally as possible and plan to move out eventually? Are there other options I'm not considering, beyond all of us moving for him? Technicalities. Our lease is 4 years long, but anyone can trigger a break clause for their specific room at any point, and we are early in the lease. It is each of our responsibilities in the lease to find a replacement if we leave. We are also both head tenants. I have a secret small dog the landlord doesn't know about, so I don't want to escalate the situation more than it needs to be. This is why you don't sign a 4-year lease with someone you're not married to. The only thing I can think of is if you're friends and you all together tell him how extremely weird/creepy it is for him to insist on living with his ex and her friends, and that you all unanimously want him gone. Perhaps emphasize that any future girlfriends of his aren't exactly going to be thrilled that he still lives with his ex. If that isn't enough, then all of you can ice him out and give him the silent treatment. Hopefully, that will be enough to motivate him. Otherwise, yes, your only other option is to eventually leave, since I doubt your future boyfriends will be thrilled either that you still live with your ex. Make him feel inadequate, and he'll move. Bring a new friend home every night. Make loud love until he can't take it no more. Even better if your girlfriends join in. Talk about it over breakfast in front of him. Seems like you have a couple of options. 1. Contact the landlord and tell him that if he doesn't leave, you are all leaving. 2. You and your friends leave and let him stay there. 3. You move out. 4. You make it so uncomfortable for him that he has to leave. What do your friends think of the current setup? Okay, so this is what I'd do. It sounds like he is a narcissist. Here's the thing about narcissists. They always want to win. He is staying there because he is winning. Here is what you do. You get all the roommates together and make a pact everyone needs to block him. Act like he is literally nothing and refuse to engage. No small talk, nothing. Keep living your lives as if he is not there. They hate being ignored. Then you and the girls invite your closest guy friends to come over every once in a while and just make him pissed off as possible. Eventually he will blow a fuse, and that will be your moment to get him off the lease. But the more y'all engage, the more y'all keep showing that you're miserable, the more he feels like he's winning. You have to make him lose. Here's what you should do. 1. Tell your landlord about the small dog. This will help you feel more at ease, and your ex can't use it as retaliation. 2. When you go to the landlord to explain the situation, do not warn your ex about it. Keep it to yourself. 3. Tell the landlord your roommates and you are uncomfortable living with your ex because he is sending unwanted text and being aggressive. If you say it like this, plus telling them you might move because it seems like an unsafe environment, the landlord could be of help in getting your ex out. They rather lose one person than 3. 4. Find someone for the room immediately. I say this because this has happened to me before, but it wasn't an ex. So why don't you and the roommates all break the lease and leave him there?